Welcome to Bound to Shift, the inspiring book chat in conjunction with the Shift Sisters podcast. Here, we explore transformative stories and powerful books designed to support you through life's inevitable shifts. Whether you're navigating change, seeking growth, or looking for fresh perspectives, our curated selections are crafted to inspire development and ignite your inner strength. Join us as we dive into heartfelt conversations, meaningful insights, and practical tools to help you embrace change with courage and confidence. Because when you are bound to shift, every chapter becomes an opportunity for renewal and transformation. Let's embark on this empowering journey together. All right, welcome Shifties, and welcome to our next edition of our book chats, The 13 Original Clan Mothers by Jamie Sams. And we are moving into our next moon cycle, our fourth moon cycle, which is April's moon and Jennifer's birth month. Woo-hoo-hoo! April, that's it. And there's lots of wisdom as in all the chapters, but this chapter is called Looks Far Woman. Sorry about that. And there's just so much here in this chapter. But moving into your birth month, Jennifer, is there anything that you're feeling or anything you want to bring into this new month for you?
Well, I'm super stoked because on my actual birthday is a full moon, right? And
Mm.
we share these episodes around the full moon time so everyone else can embrace it too. And what I have been doing is we got these hammock tents. So
Yes.
it's a hammock, but it has like a mosquito net arch thing. And we've been trying to sleep outside under
Mm.
the full moon because like some people will charge water and their stones or different things, and I'm like, no, I want to charge me
Oh,
directly. And that happens on my birthday as well. So lay
yes.
out there and listen to nature. Also sometimes do a little meditation. And so I'm super excited.
Oh my gosh, that sounds divine.
Hmm.
And definitely in on par with what we're learning about and all the stuff that we're exploring in this book. So that sounds great. Awesome, awesome. So as we talked about in our previous episodes, each clan mother is associated with a color. So this one is a tricky one because Looks Far Woman, her colors are all pastels. That's what it lists in the book. So I always try my best to bring out, the color of the clan mother in something. And today I tried my best with, some lilac earrings and a little pastel-y top and things. I always try to find something. So, a rock, something that can represent her. So once again, I invite you, shifties and listeners, to also do the same so that we can bring the essence of the clan mother to our call.
Hmm.
Do you have anything pastel today, my friends?
Just my little dress here, pastel green. I realized I don't have many pastels.
Listen, the clan mothers are telling me to up my wardrobe game, girl.
Right? I'm gonna go shopping after this so I can go get some more. So we'll see.
One of these days, you have to do a little segment on your thrift shopping and like just walking through your aisles and things because I
I'm
just
like, I don't even know how I'd do that. I'd have to have someone record me because I'm like too busy. I'm like, I'm on a mission. I've got things to look for. And then the camera would be all, everybody would be seasick and everything. But yes, I'm like, I have to find a cameraman to follow me around.
I mean, I'm telling you, I just have to say, like, you are the queen. And I am very picky about things. And
Mm.
you have purchased some really great pieces of wardrobe for me. And I'm just like, girl, you're not going to find my size. And you're like, sorry, here it is. And then I'm like, you're not going to find something that's going to work. And then you buy something for me. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you need to be a personal thrift shopper for someone.
I just love it because it's like I can feel the essence of, you, right? And even like when we do this sip and swaps
Mhm.
where everybody brings clothes and we're exchanging and stuff like that, that's my favorite part because I get to see the clothes and I know the people and I'm like, try this, right? Because once you get to know the people too, like what they want to accent, what they want to, hide, or what their personality is, or just like what really highlights them, even sometimes when they don't know it. And so it's just so fun. I love it.
Oh my gosh. It's just, one of the many facets, right? That just brings you joy. And I love that it
Hmm.
brings you joy like that. So, in the spirit of pastel colors, I want to just share a little bit about the significance of them.
Okay.
So, pastel colors often carry significant spiritual meanings that relate to soft, gentle qualities. So, here are some common interpretations of it. So, calm and serenity. Pastel shades promote a sense of peace, tranquility, and relaxation. They're also associated with calming energies that help reduce stress and anxiety. They also help to support inner peace and balance. So soft colors like pastel blue or pink can symbolize harmony within oneself and emotional balance. We got pink and blue in our colors, so that's a
Mm, yeah.
gentleness and compassion. Pastels evoke kindness, compassion, the nurturing aspects of love and care, feeling warmth and tenderness. So that sounds really sweet.
Hmm.
Renewal and rebirth. So light, airy air tones like pastel greens or lavenders are linked to renewal, growth, and spiritual rebirth. Spiritual
It's
rebirth.
interesting. Yes, Charlotte really gravitates towards those pastel colors. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else in my life. I don't know if I know many people.
Right. Well,
Hmm.
that's now you can deep dive into that as well and
Yeah, and
see.
it kind of speaks to her character too, so it's interesting.
Sure. Sure. A couple more. So another is hope and optimism. The soft glow of pastels can symbolize hope, new beginnings, and positive energy.
Hmm.
And then finally, connection to higher consciousness. Pastel tones often foster a sense of openness and spiritual connectedness, and it encourages a gentle approach to spiritual awakenings and mindfulness. Wow.
Well, a lot of hippie woo-woo people do wear. And I'm going to be extremely hippie woo-woo when I get older because I can just feel me going right down that path. But boy, I'm still wearing whatever colors I want.
That's right. Well, that's you, and that's as you should. And the thing is, what I'm really enjoying about exploring colors with the
Hmm.
clan mothers is, I think I've taken as much as I love color and I express color in many different aspects of my life. I
Hmm.
often, I think I take it for granted, and now I feel like I want to intentionally
Hmm.
wear colors on days that I need a little bit of compassion or I might need a little bit of lightness. Because there are certain days where I'm like, oh God, girl, I need to like lighten up because I'm a total B right now. Like,
Hmm.
so I'm going to wear my pastels to help that. And when we talked about the brown and the earthiness,
Yeah.
like sometimes I just need to feel grounded. So I'll, wearing that brown.
Which is so true because if you think about Ashton's color palette,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
It's so many browns.
Yes.
So many browns, or like greens. He'll do greens, those I think muted greens, and then he'll do like just like denim or maybe sometimes black, but that's like the extent. But it's primarily browns, and I'm like, that makes sense because he's so grounded.
Isn't that interesting? And
Mm-hmm.
also, I had a conversation with Ashton recently about the vibration plates.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of the, uh, you know, uh, oh gosh, what's the word? Like one of the benefits of it is to help with grounding, right? Because
Mm.
after that, you get off the plate and you feel just kind of connected. You just
Yeah,
all of that energy that's in your body is just vibrated out,
that's
right? And
true.
you're feeling so connected. So that
Mm.
makes total sense. I
Yeah,
love this whole color kind of thought and analysis and
I
thinking through
love it.
how we can use it in our
Well,
lives.
whenever we do a Shift Sister retreat,
Hmm.
every day we'll have a color palette to go with the activity.
Love it.
And then everybody knows how to pack, right? They're going to be like, I'm going to need pastels for this day. I'm going to need neon for this day. I'm going to need blacks or whites for this day. And we'll have all of our activities paired with the color therapy.
Girl, yes. And you know what's funny? So, I used to only wear black, especially being like a city girl. I was like, first,
Yeah,
that's
that's New York, right?
that's New York. That's what you wear. You wear black and grays. And then I'm like, oh, it's slimming. It makes me look slimmer. And I don't know what happened in my transition from like New York to Florida, but I said, forget that. We're just gonna wear all
That's when it happened.
Well, I think it happened more because
Mm,
right before that was the pandemic,
hmm.
and we were stuck in our apartments for a couple of years, right? And I think I just wanted to say, you know what, this is going to be a new life and a new rebirth and a new awakening, and I've addressed it and loved it. I'm totally embracing it. But there's a piece in my wardrobe. It is a highlighter yellow, super bright, like lime green shirt, and I am drawn to it, but I am intimidated by it. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
Well, yes, because I like chartreuse,
Mhm.
right? And it goes great with like different, like a true blue and different things like that. And you just have to be in the mind space, headspace, right? To wear it, to pull it off, and all things like that. So interesting. I wonder,
Yeah,
we're gonna have to find a
yeah.
way to wear it. So it's just a top. What is it?
It's a top. It's like a tunic. It's flowy and long, and
Mm.
and it's just like, look at me, wah, wah, wah. Like it is intense.
But see, you style things. You don't just wear things. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see what this is going to turn out like. We're going to have a neon party, or you'll have to do a glow in the dark party and wear it.
Don't give me another idea, girl, because I love it. I love it. I love it.
And then
So,
Whitney Houston play all the 80s. You've got some cassette tape earrings, I know.
oh, that's right. I'm ready to wear those. So that's amazing. Oh, all right. So we're going to jump into this chapter of Look Far Woman. And as always, I love to start off our chats with the reading of the poem. So, Jen, can I ask you to start off there with us, please?
Absolutely. Mother, teach me how to see the shining lights of stars, the faces of the ancestors in worlds both near and far. Show me how to welcome the visions appearing to me, seeing the truth in detail, unveiling each mystery. Walk me through the dream time of altered time and space, that I may share those visions with every creed and race. Doorkeeper of all dimensions, I seek your medicine ways of how to earth my visions, seeing truth inside me today.
Hmm. That poem talks about dreams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the importance of dreaming. And in this chapter, dream is a big part of her strength. And I want us to kind of deep dive into that. So, in the introduction of this chapter, it talks about her belief on dreams. It states that every human being has the ability to use the information found in sleep time dreams or dream time waking visions. So, I'm sure like vision quests or daydreaming and things to change the course of his or her personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, how do dreams hold power in our lives? And has dreams help you change the course of your life? And just overall, what do dreams mean to you? So, wow.
They are such a validation sometimes,
Okay.
right? Or sometimes they're just giving you like some more pieces to the puzzle as far as uncovering maybe your real emotions on something. Because a lot of people, they go through experiences, but they don't really explore what emotions they're feeling about that situation. And your dreams can show you sometimes if it's a fear or an excitement or a purposeful thing. It helps to give you those clues.
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. And I've dreams are so powerful for me because first of all, I love that I remember the majority of my dreams.
Hmm.
Like I think um I always wonder, why is it I'm not remembering a dream?
Hmm.
And there are times where I wake up feeling kind of emotional, but I can't
Hmm.
put my finger on it. And I'm like, what
Hmm.
did I dream about that made me feel this way? Um, so I think dreams are incredibly powerful. They've also been a portal for me to kind of communicate with those that are no longer physically here.
Hmm.
So, when you have that grandparent that comes in your dream, my father would often come to my dreams. And what's
Hmm.
interesting is my father would come to my dreams and I would have the same similar dream of we have we spend time together. I saw him on a city bus. We are hanging out at a restaurant. And then every time when we're getting into it, he says, I have to go. And he gets up and he goes. And I'm always left with like, but why? Like, and questions and the resonating feeling of what a great time we had, but now you're gone. I don't understand. And I think, for me, that's, one of my ways of processing loss is through dreams. So I
Well,
think,
do you see that he's trying to tell you that he is with you in all your daily activities, but he's also telling you that you haven't processed his loss,
yes,
right? And you always have that like, whoa, 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 why are you leaving? Just like when he passed, you're 11, right? No sweet 11-year-old will ever understand that.
right.
And I think that's a reminder, right? That he's always with you
Mm.
and he does want you to help or to process that.
Yeah, I feel that as well because it
Mm-hmm.
just and it's not when I'm thinking about him and it's random, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I dreamt about Bob last night. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Where did this come from? So I think dreams, in addition to, helping the course of my life, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
also given me it's like support. I never feel like I'm in control or in charge of my dreams, even though
Hmm.
it's from my body. I feel like there's just like things that are being implanted, like something, and not always. I'm not. Let me take that back.
Mm-hmm.
Every dream, but certain things, I just feel like that came from source, that came from something else other
That's
than me.
so interesting. So, my grandmother, I totally believe she was like my walking guide for so many things. She was a mentor, kind of honestly like a clan mother, right? Sharing her wisdom with me. And we had such a great relationship. And she was my best friend growing up. And she really taught me how to navigate my dreams and what they mean, and when your spirit tends to travel a little bit more during the
Yeah,
night, like what hours and how all that works. And I've always been very spiritually connected and open, but with that comes protection that you need to learn to have as well. And growing up in a very horribly, like, unhealthy home, of course, I would have some, I don't like to call them nightmares per se, because everything is just information.
yeah,
And so I would have some intense things, but she would help teach me how to guide myself through them. And then she also taught me a ton of protection things. And she taught me at a really young age about lucid dreaming. And it wasn't called that then, right? But she would explain the methods of what to do and how to do it. And even recently, I've had, some different dreams, but when I am in a dream, I am aware. My consciousness is aware of that. And I tell myself, especially like even the one most recently, I said, okay, you're dreaming. Let's feel these emotions.
yeah.
You don't need to know every detail, but this is coming up for a reason. So make sure that you explore all the emotions, that you process everything that needs to happen, and understand that it is not happening in real life, but the emotions are real. They're coming up for a reason. Go ahead and process them, and then you're going to have a great day the night when you wake up. And my husband's like, "You literally said that to yourself in a dream?" And I was like, "I did." But I think it's because my grandmother gave me such um I don't want to say power, but just confidence in what's going on and how to participate in it instead of just view it or get the what do you call that, like the shrapnel, right? Like I don't want just, the craziness of it. I want to understand it and experience through it. So, yeah.
I love that because there have been instances where I've changed the trajectory of a dream because it was too overwhelming for me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I've woken myself up and just
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, wake up, wake up, wake up. This is too much. It's too much.
Okay.
Um, but I would love to hone in that skill.
Oh yeah,
And
because even when it's too much, you could say, you know what? Can you calm down the emotion? I'd like to see or experience this scene and get something out of it, but the emotion is too much. Can you calm it down?
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And it's how is that taught? Like how, it's like
Through a mentor, through a clan mother, through wisdom, through shared knowledge, right?
yeah, absolutely. Before I move on to like the main story and characters, one last question about dreams. What's your take on dream interpretation, like books or
Mhm.
dream interpretation um categories? Like I know that growing up, my mom used to always say, those dreams where you're pulling out teeth or teeth are falling
Mhm.
on your head, it means death is coming, death,
Mhm.
or something. So I they're there for a reason, and
Mhm.
it's not just kind of like made up. There must have been something. So what is
Yeah.
your take on that?
Well, I definitely think it's interesting because there's tons of websites and books that give you dream interpretations of like, oh, if you dreamed of an owl, was he this color or was he doing this? And or, they have all these variations that they ask you to try to give you some interpretation. And it's fine for a general like overview. I kind of look at it similar to like astrology. Astrology can go really deep, right? Everybody knows their zodiac sign, their birth
Hmm.
sign. They have no clue the depth that it can go into and how just that superficial birth sign, it doesn't really mean a lot. It's just very general. Where those dream interpretation books are very similar to that. I think that I'm really great at interpreting dreams. All of the family here comes to me and they're like, "This is my dream. Help me. Tell me what it means."
Ah,
But I'm able to do that because I know what's going on in their life.
right.
So I can give them an in-depth, more specific interpretation than a
Mhm.
book could,
Right.
kind of thing. And
Sure.
so I think that if folks use an interpretation guide to kind of give them a little bit of insight, then sit with it and think about like the lessons, not the actual things that happened in your dreams, but the lessons and the connections that came up with that. How does that fit? For example, um, I'm going through some health deep dives of things that I'm trying to connect and correct.
Hmm.
And it's super intense and overwhelming. And I had this insane dream that was super intense and overwhelming in different situations, even though I wasn't feeling overwhelmed. I was almost feeling like I was in an escape room, right?
Mm.
Scoping out the landscape, taking count of who's there, looking at what my options are on how to get through this. And I'm like, this person can't help, this person can't help, this person can't help was the feeling I had instantly when I was aware of them. And then I realized, well, I'm just going to have to figure it out myself. And that is such a connection to this health discovery because at this situation, it is intense. And I do have to observe everything, without fear and emotion and overwhelm. And no one's going to be able to help me. It's something very specific that only I can figure out myself. And that is had no connection with like the car or the size of the bridge or the path that I had to get there all in my dream, right? But how is a book of interpretations going to tell me that the bridge was too narrow for my car and all
Right.
these other stuff, you know what I mean? So you really kind of have to sit with it and see the connection of discovery and self-reliance and how does that apply in your daily life. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Dreams are just, we could have a whole podcast on that with all of the just the messages and things. I have a dream journal.
Mhm.
I When I see you next, girl, I'm gonna let you read some of it because it's just like, what? And I
Mhm.
sit back and I read it, and first of all, I don't remember writing it sometimes.
Mhm.
So I made it into almost a daily practice where I would wake up and write it out. And then, weeks later, I go back to it and I'm like, wow, I don't remember this,
Mhm.
but it was so detailed.
Mhm. It's
The
almost like automatic writing. Have you heard of that? Mhm.
yes, yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yep.
So, yeah, so for another time, another place, more deep diving into dreams, but I wanted to just touch upon that since this is a big part of Look for Woman, her approach to being a clan mother.
Mhm.
So in this chapter, there is a story, and the story emerges where there's a girl who is brutalized, and her brother brings her sister's battered body to Looks Far Woman for help.
Mm-hmm.
And sister's name is Starfire. She's far gone and barely holding on to life. And in this story, Starfire makes a come around after Look Far Woman works with her and Little Eagle, which is her brother, Little Eagle. And he had spent lots of time with her as she was in this state, almost like a comatose state,
Mm-hmm.
barely brought to life. So when you think about the story and think about, the circumstances, how and why do you think Starfire made a full recovery after being in this barely clinging on to life?
Well, one of the things that I thought was so important is that the Looks Far woman knew that her soul was connected to her brother, and that was like the only life source that she knew, the only positivity and light that she knew in her life, and that was so important for him to be there with her and continue to talk to her. And it's no different than someone that's in a coma, right? They tell you talk to them, right? Your soul, your spirit can still hear it. Just like when you were in that situation where you just needed someone to be with you,
Yes.
right? It's their presence, it's their energy. It's not always the words that are being said. And your energy can speak louder than words can. And I feel like, that was super important for her to have, because I don't think at all she would have made it
Yeah.
without that one key piece.
Oh, absolutely. And I've experienced some of this too in the passing of my father and my grandfather. I'm sorry, my grandmother and my father. So I was physically there. So it was the last days and I was holding my dad's hand,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone was gathered around and they said, "Sandy, go home and take a shower and come back." And when I left was when he passed.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was like, he passed because you weren't there. He didn't want you to see that.
Yeah.
And to think about that connection,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it happened as well with our grandmother. We were all in the room, and um, even the nurse said she's holding on because you're talking to her. All of you are keeping her here.
Yeah.
And we stepped out of the room, and that's when it happened. And I just, I think about it, and it's just, you know, as you said, when someone's comatose, or someone, when they say to keep talking, yes,
Mm-hmm.
that is the time to share your love and to share your thoughts with them, and to know that they're still connected with you. So absolutely, I think her brother, Little Eagle, was really the reason that kept her on this plane until he was able to find the right support and help. And what was so interesting is that Looks Far Woman went and found the fractured pieces of her soul. And she said that she
Mm-hmm.
had a great mystery and connected them all to help her. It's like shards of glass to
Yeah.
help her recover. And how powerful. And the fact that she wanted to be here too, Starfire.
Oh, yeah. And I seen, so there's this weird connection I have. I make weird connections all the time, but because I'm thinking as Looks Far woman, okay, so how did she get in to the great mystery, right? How did she get into that state? And how did she find those fragmented pieces? And how did she know they belonged to her, and so on and so forth? And it made me think of another time that I had a curiosity like that, is when we had the energy work done for our rescue dog, who had a ton of problems from his abusive previous life. He had a ton of triggers and violent reactions and things like that. And it was honestly really dangerous to even keep him. But if we would have sent him back, it would have put him in the same cycle and made it worse. And so I sought out someone that was an animal communicator,
Mhm.
and she would like read him his energy, right, into the great mystery, I guess. And
Mm.
she would say, this is what I'm picking up that is fractured in his body,
Wow.
and this is what I'm replacing it with. This is what he needs. And it might have been like an energy of a stone or a
Mhm.
mineral of some type of thing from the earth. And she would share it all, but I'm still like, this shit is so over my head. But I could not only physically see him reacting, he to this day is like a completely different dog. And I'm thinking, why the hell are animal rescues not doing this on a regular basis?
Sure.
But I thought it was so interesting how she was able to see those broken pieces and how to replace them. And so I look at it in that same sense as Looks Far Woman was reading Starfire's energy, right?
Mm,
And that's how
mm.
she was able to see the broken pieces around her and what she needed to replace them or to repair them.
It's fascinating. First of all, that energy person needs to come and work on some humans.
She
On
does. She did Ashton.
Oh, that's I mean,
Mm-hmm.
really, that's just so important to have that tool in that
Mm-hmm.
toolbox, like recovering from trauma, really.
Yeah.
And it just it's so interesting because I think this is something, a lot of everyone experiences some form of trauma or some
Yeah.
form. And I'm just wondering, is there something that we can take away from this chapter to
Mm-hmm.
help us as we navigate our lives and, the traumas that we've had or others, if you have children or family members, how can we, it's a, it's just a rhetorical question, but how can we go into the great mystery and pick up our fractured pieces of our soul?
Mm-hmm.
And how many like fractures do we have? How many slivers of our soul do we have? Because at
Mm-hmm.
some point it's finite. It's going to end,
Yeah.
right? So when you think about things that are unprocessed or things that are still traumatic for you or, triggers and things like that, how can we regain that and
Yeah.
go in and get that back? So,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, that's a good one. So Starfire in the chapter starts to heal. And not only is she healing, she's thriving a bit, right? She's learning from Looks Far Woman. She begins to train under her.
Mm-hmm.
Looks Far Woman has the unique ability to see what Starfire has been through, but also see how it's a strength.
Mm-hmm.
So, just to share a quote from this chapter, Looks Far Woman understood the keen abilities that Starfire possessed. Every two-legged who have survived the shattering of the luminous egg that helped their sacred points of view could access other realms because fragments of their spirit had journeyed into the void of creation. So, when you hear that, what does that say in terms of the human spirit? What does that say to you when you hear that quote?
I might have to think about that one a
Yeah.
little bit.
Well, for me, I think it talks about the fact that um, even though she was brutalized and went through
Mm-hmm.
some heavy and deep trauma, she was able to take that and connect with others. It's she was able to um, open up her point of view
Mm-hmm.
because she had been through such a breaking of her spirit. And now it's almost as if she can see a little further and she can
Mm-hmm.
see a little more, wider and more inclusive. And it's almost like the chapter with Blue Goose and Running Water,
Yeah,
right?
I was kind of thinking about that a little bit.
Blue Goose was hoarding food because she was afraid that her other children would starve, not realizing that there's bigger things, right? She was so caught up in the trauma of losing her child due to starvation that she was able to share her story and her love with
Mm-hmm.
families who had experienced similar.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in that same vein for me of,
Mm-hmm.
her ability to kind of go beyond her own borders, and see something that was a little deeper.
Yeah, and she had the support and took the time to heal herself first, right? I think sometimes we will get ahead of ourselves or try to miss a step, right?
Yes.
And but sometimes also in the process of helping others, we help ourselves.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's, just one of those things that um it might be a little bit of a rocky path, but it is paved with love and good intention, and it does lead to a better place.
Absolutely. Like I have a few people in my life that I've gone to hear their talks and lectures
Mm-hmm.
of their own abuse or violence that they've endured. And they often describe themselves as like, "Oh, I was shy and quiet and things," and I'm sitting here in awe of them sharing their stories with thousands of other people to
Mm-hmm.
get the story out and for people to
Mm-hmm.
understand they're not alone, for people
Yeah.
to know that they have that. And I think it's through the trauma, she was able to develop these other areas of her, these other parts of her
Mm-hmm.
that can help. And she became this very popular seer now because
Mm-hmm.
she was able to see more than she
Yep.
was prior
Yep.
to the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So part of Starfire's training was to confront the memories of what happened to her. And for many moons, she worked through the nightmare until she saw through the feelings and was able to see clearly. So, what are your thoughts about this approach to shadowy memories? Because I think sometimes people tend to, um, try to process it quickly and move on,
Mm-hmm.
or shove it down, or stay in it. Right? They're just in that cycle of, I was brutalized, and this is what happened to me, and
And
kind
they
of,
replay.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you think about Starfire's approach to it, confronting the memories of what happened, what are your thoughts about that?
It was very thorough, right? Like, I'm not
Mhm.
gonna run and hide from it. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna let it control me. It's no different than if you have a big task list at home. You can
Mhm.
let it overwhelm you, you can avoid it, you can let it stress you out, or you can say, you know what? Let's look at this. All right, let's knock out the hardest thing on that list first so that everything after that is easy.
Right.
And she was filled with that strength and resilience from the love and healing that she had, that she said, I'm gonna look at each one for what it was. I'm gonna feel the emotion, I'm gonna process it, and then I'm gonna be done so I can just live my best life and give what I need to give to help other people heal. And so I think it's a very mature approach. It's the approach that all of us could wish to have, but
Sure.
it's one of those things that it's a practice, right? You have to practice it in the small moments, from a task list into the emotions that you're carrying with different experiences.
Absolutely. I think that I have certain cycles in my life that I'm stuck in, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the certain stories that I tell myself are in that stuck space. And this book, not only this chapter, but in other chapters, really is teaching me to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
And in my like, here's my checklist, I got to finish, ba, 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 and I have to keep going, and I have to do this in order to do that. Doesn't allow for that kind of
Mm-hmm.
mental set, right? So now I'm saying to myself, what are those stories that I keep saying to myself that just keeps me stuck? Like suspended animation, right? Because I just
Mm-hmm.
am reliving the emotion, or I'm reliving the fear or the trauma or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm saying to myself, if I could take a page out of Starfire's book and just take the time to deep dive into it. Like you talked about my dream and my father. Like I still haven't processed that. And that's,
Mm-hmm.
30 years plus now. And the fact that this dream keeps coming up and it is consistent, the theme of it may be different, settings, but the theme is consistent, is just, my way of saying it's time, it's time, it's time. Like
And that's the thing, it will continue to come up until it's processed. And then once it is processed, then you're going to get to have different dream experiences with your dad,
yeah,
right? That create a different connection and a different emotion and a different memory that you haven't been able to create yet because you have that barrier, right? That
right,
wall. And it's no different than the lessons that we have to learn in life. If we are not learning them, then they're going to keep repeating until we learn it, right? If it's me being patient and my response to my husband about something, right? Like, there is a lesson in that. And if I do not get present and focused to try to learn that lesson and embrace it and like tattoo it into my soul, It's going to keep coming up until I do it. And who's it irritating? Me.
Yes.
No
Yeah.
one else. And so it's like I'm getting on my own damn nerves because I'm not learning the lesson. So hurry up and learn the goddamn lesson. Oh, excuse me. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, of
So,
course.
like, and so I look forward to hearing about your evolution of processing in that slow moment because that's a big one to process.
It is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as I reread this book, all the years that I have read the book, I just feel like there's just these wisdom nuggets that are just helping me to navigate some of the things that are not at the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
I pushed, back, or I just don't know how to do it. I don't have the formula. I don't know how to process. Like people
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, you have to sit down and process it. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean I
Mm-hmm.
sit and cry? Does it mean that I sit and journal? Does that mean that I have meditations? Do I do it alone? Do I do it in community? And I think I'm getting lots of potentials of what it could look like. And maybe it's all of it.
But I
It's
think you're a little frightened to take the first step.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Because
And
it's
and
yeah,
that's the thing. You'll find that moment where you're like, okay, I'm ready to face this. Right now it's scary. It's like you don't want to open the box because you know like some fake snakes are going to jump out, right?
right.
And you know they're in there, even though you know they're in there, and you still don't want to open the box even though you know they're in there.
Yes.
And so I think if you just keep, kind of talking with your soul, and like when you take one of those bubble baths and you've got your Palo Santo burning or whatever kind of woo woo stuff that you do, put on some music, maybe a song that your dad liked, who knows, and quietly close your eyes and say, what is the first step that I need to take in this process journey, and nothing else, just the first step. And just ask that question and just listen. And as soon as you take a deep breath, a really deep breath, the very first thing that pops into your mind, hold on to it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I like that because I just um I'm a person that wants a plan, and when I don't have it, I just feel lost. I just feel like there's no direction in this, and when I read this particular chapter and see that she also didn't have a plan. There wasn't this grand scheme of things. And the fact that she slowed down, she listened, she
Mm-hmm.
used, just the sacred listening and the, like you just mentioned, like when I'm in that bath and in that space,
Yeah.
listening to what is coming up is
Yeah.
something that I have to do more of.
Mm-hmm. Even when it feels scary.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a ending quote that I'd like to read and see what reflections we have on it. So the last quote is: "The worlds within worlds are open to every two-legged who choose to travel beyond the pain that limit our ability to see the truth."
Mm-hmm.
I love this quote because it just reminds me. Remember, I said to you in a different episode where just because I'm afraid of it doesn't mean it's a full stop.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a lesson I'm continuing to really live my life through, and
Mm-hmm.
it is not easy, and I'm an achiever. Like I want to achieve things. I don't want to be in the space in the middle space. I want to like complete it so I
Yeah.
could say I did it and then move on. And I just need to slow down and listen and hear. So I found that quote really powerful because of the power that our emotions have on us
Mm-hmm.
and how it guides and navigates our decisions.
Yep. Big time. Oh man. I'm like, oh God, I'm like just sitting here feeling like a parent that is watching their child getting ready to open up a gift on Christmas morning. I see that with you, that there are some huge shifts in this arena that are coming your way, and you're going to spend a little bit more time in that messy middle, even though it's not a place that you have intentionally chose to stay in long because you don't like messy. But you know, that's part of being the grounded shifter, to have
Yes.
that plan and to want to make a list and a checklist and things like that. But, being more like a shapeshifter to kind of like try some different shift methods might create a different experience. And I'm excited to see you open that present.
Well, thank you for coming on this journey with me, my soul sister. And
Hmm.
this is just, showing our shifties here that we're also doing the work. Like
Big
we are
time.
in it, we are living it, we are trying it. Like we are not experts, we're experiencers, and I
Yep.
am in my experience of really working through some of the things that are quiet but are still like roaring loud in the inside. So
Mhm.
that's the base where I am.
Yep.
So, closing thoughts, as we draw the circle around the wisdom of Luxfar woman, may her gentle strength remind us to listen beyond words, to see with the eyes of the soul, to trust the silent whispers of our inner truth. In her stillness, there is infinite knowing, encouraging us to clarify, to find clarity in patience and grace in surrender. Let her guidance inspire you to stand tall with quiet confidence, to embrace the wisdom that resides within, and to walk with your path and an open heart. Woo, that was really, as I said, this was a really wonderful chapter, and I'm ready to do some more work around it. And if you're ready, Shifties, to do some more work around this chapter and the concepts that we found in this chapter, I have a little invitation, a shift activation, if you will. And the first one is a journal prompt. So, if you're interested in deep and diving deeper, let's do a little bit of a journal prompt around um, your own strength. So think about a time when you experienced some difficulty, but came out on the other side stronger, stronger than you expected. Write a piece noting how powerful you really are. I think for me, I I tend to undercut some of the things that I've been through in my life and how I came on the other side. And I think we need to take a moment and acknowledge that strength and that power that we have. You know, Jen, you share about your upbringing and your home life. And
Hmm.
it took so much power and strength for that little girl to recognize that and to go beyond that. So
Yeah.
I think we have to acknowledge that piece and make sure that that is as a part of our journey as well.
Hmm.
Another shift activation that I can invite you to is I will encourage you to keep a dream journal. Keep it by your bed. What I did is I would keep it by my bed, and anytime I woke up, so if it was in the middle of the night, I would use a voice note. If it was first thing in the morning and my alarm would go off, I would get up, and that was the first thing I did because I was afraid it was going to poof out of my brain.
Hmm.
So keep it and revisit it, explore it, see if there are any patterns that come up, any
Yes.
themes, circle things, highlight things. This is kind of your own book about yourself.
Yeah.
And you don't have to make it flowery. It doesn't have to be complete sentences. My journals look like, I was writing with my eyes closed and they were just words, kind of splattered all around. It's not to create a beautiful piece of art. It's to document and also to study yourself and your
Hmm.
so I would invite you to do that, and this will just encourage self reflection, and just ways that you can think about your life and how it could change your trajectory of your life as well.
Yep.
Awesome, Jen. Have you ever done a dream journal?
So I have not, but I oddly remember my dreams.
Oh,
Even
really?
I can tell you what year I had them. Like, I remember the dreams that I had when I was 4, when I was 17, or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know why, but I can remember them.
It's so interesting because another really close friend of mine has the same situation, and he says to me all the time, "I cannot remember my dreams."
Hmm.
And this is a deep thinker, someone who
Hmm.
feels, deeply as well. So I find it fascinating because I feel like there's something there.
It is, it would be more beneficial to me though if I was to even sit down and document the dreams that I do, all the ones that I do remember, and then start journaling, because I'm very good at seeing like patterns and things like that, and I've never dissected my dreams in that way.
Yeah,
And so that would be an interesting thing for me to do, at least write down all the ones that I do remember and then write down the ones I'm starting or that I'm having now, and then see what types of patterns that I can come up with.
absolutely. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. Wonderful. So, if anything in today's book chat spoke to you, we'd love to hear from you. So,
Mm-hmm.
show us some love, leave us a review, and tell us what landed for you in this chapter. Tag us with the hashtag Shift Sisters Podcast on your favorite socials, or share this book chat episode with someone that needs it or that you feel like would benefit from it.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you again for a wonderful book chat. Until
Mm-hmm.
we meet again, walk softly, listen deeply, and trust that the universe is always unfolding in perfect harmony.
100%.
Bye, everyone.